small, having comparatively little size or slight dimensions. Operating on a limited scale. We all live in a world of sound, but how do we hear it? Extraordinary in the way it works, the outer ear channels sound down a canal to vibrate the eardrum. These vibrations are transmitted to the middle ear by 3 minute bones. One of these, the stirrup, is the smallest bone in the human body, about the size of a grain of rice. The vibrations are passed to the cochlea on the other side. This small bony spiral is the key to the vast range of sounds we hear. Sound is transmitted to the brain by rows of minute hairs. Watch the sound of a pin drop. Did you know, from the moment we're born, these tiny cells start to die? By the age of 10, we'll have all heard the greatest range of sound we'll ever hear. Completely landlocked by Rome, the world's smallest country is less than half a square kilometer in area, about the same as 60 soccer pitches. Most of the country's 458 citizens live inside the city walls. They include high dignitaries, priests, nuns, and guards. The Pope is chief of state and exercises supreme legislative and judicial power, appointing a head of government and cabinet. With its own post office, bank and railway station, the Vatican City also issues its own coins, stamps and passports. Did you know the smallest country in the world has the world's smallest army, the Swiss Guard? Chungchao Harbor, home to tens of thousands of Chinese boat people. It's like a voyage back in time through alleyways and markets untouched over the centuries. With one small exception, the world's smallest fire brigade. The fire engine's so tiny, there's only room for the driver. The rest of the crew run behind. But no one can remember the last fire in Chungchao. Traditional manufacturing methods include casting, grinding, and milling, and they all involve moving atoms in the engineering equivalent of great herds. Nanotechnology is manufacturing at the smallest possible level. This revolutionary technology will allow the fabrication of an entirely new generation of products that are cleaner, stronger, lighter, and more precise. This cog is so small, it can pass through the eye of a needle. But true nanotechnology is 1,000 times smaller. It's molecular manufacturing. In more simple terms, it's building things one atom or molecule at a time. These are traditional working machines, but built to a few billionths of a meter in size. What does this mean in real terms? Self-assembling consumer goods, computers billions of times faster, safe and affordable space travel, and possibly even a virtual end to illness, aging, and death. successful, resulting or terminating in success, gaining or having gained success. It grows everywhere, from mountain peaks to ocean beds and deserts. Grass, probably the most successful plant in the world. Wherever there's a gap, there's grass. We cultivate it, look after it, and use it. The grass family is of great economic importance, providing staple food, pasture, and raw materials. Scientists are perfecting the gardener's dream come true, grass that stays lush all year round, even in a drought. Did you know, thanks to global warming, grass is even growing successfully in the sub-zero temperatures of the Antarctic? It was businessman Richard Branson who threw down the gauntlet on one of the last great aviation challenges, circling the globe in a hot air balloon. Favoring Marrakesh for takeoff, he was destined to fail. At virtually the same time, the Breitling orbiter took off across the Swiss Alps. But would the sub-zero temperatures and thin alpine air do the trick? Within days, the balloon had ditched in the Mediterranean. Branson's turn once again. Back in Morocco, he had the opportunity of a 200-kilometer-an-hour jet stream that could carry him around the world. Still no success, though. Within months, it was Spain that was hosting the launch of the cable and wireless balloon with Colin Prescott and Andy Elson. In the race to success, tie ropes were released an incredible 6 times within a 12-month period as businessmen, entrepreneurs, doctors and engineers each attempted their own epic voyage.
Here we are, we've crossed the finish line and it seems quite unbelievable.
8 years from the start of the challenge, on their 3rd attempt, Brian Jones and Bertrand Piccard finally claimed the record for the successful circumnavigation of the globe. One of the world's most successful travelers, rats live in the sewers, which they use as motorways. Filthy to the point of being poisonous to the touch, they carry disease, breed by the dozen, and yes, can swim up the U-bend of a toilet. They can gnaw their way into almost anywhere. Incisor teeth that are harder than mild steel grow throughout a rat's life. The key to the rat's success, their prolific breeding rate. Low in morals, fathers, mothers, sons and daughters reproduce amongst themselves. 2 can easily become 1,000 within a year. Disturbingly, rats are becoming ever more immune to poisons. This victorious little rodent is one of the world's most loathed yet successful creatures. Information technology has changed forever the way we buy, work, learn and communicate with each other. Every day, the personal computer does more for us. Leading this information revolution is Microsoft, arguably the most successful company in the history of the world, with more than 100 millionaires among its staff. At the head of the company, William Henry Gates III, the most successful business person on the planet. Did you know his wealth is equivalent to earning $1 million a day for the past 2,000 years? largest, of considerable size or extent. Of the larger kind. Pursuing an activity on a large scale. The Yara Viking supertanker, at over 500,000 tons capacity, the largest moving man-made object in the world. This giant is almost half a kilometer long and carries 622 million liters of crude oil. No ship in the world has such a valuable cargo, $90 million worth. Yet the cost of keeping her loaded is nothing compared to the running costs. 225 tons of fuel every day and $600,000 to get through the Suez Canal. Did you know, when she's decommissioned, there'll be no port anywhere in the world big enough for this supertanker? She'll probably be rammed into the beach at Bangladesh and end her days in one of the largest maritime scrapyards on Earth. Extending from the Atlantic Ocean to the Red Sea and crossing 10 countries, the Sahara is the largest desert in the world. Its geography is varied. Underground rivers occasionally penetrate its surface to form oases. The mountain flora in Algeria has perfectly adapted to the climate. With little or no rainfall for years at a time, midday temperatures in Libya regularly peak at 50 degrees Celsius. 2/3 of the 2 million population live in Morocco. Most are Berbers, the original settlers. Did you know only Russia, Canada and China are larger than the Sahara Desert? European football has become an obsession. And with this international obsession, there are hundreds of thousands of people, and you need somewhere to put them. Nou Camp is the largest football stadium in Europe and one of the largest in the world. Fundamental to the success of Barcelona Football Club is the enthusiasm of the largest supporters club in the world, all 105,000 of them. Did you know Pope John Paul II was reported to be one of the members? Local fisherman Theo Pico put to sea with his young grandson Tom. Shortly after, the 12-year-old spotted what he thought was a piece of floating wreckage. What happened as they drew near would have put fear in the heart of any seafaring man. A monstrous creature struck the little vessel, throwing a tentacle around its bow. With courage beyond his years, young Tom reached for an axe. Fable? No. Fact. For the very first time, there was evidence of the giant squid. Amateur naturalist Moses Harvey was given one of its 19-foot tentacles. Rarely seen, the giant squid has inspired fantastic tales for centuries. The facts are even more fascinating than the fiction. The largest invertebrate predator on Earth has the largest eyes in the animal kingdom, often as big as watermelons. Despite these early sightings, only dying and badly decomposed specimens have helped scientists learn what they know today. Vital statistics have become evident, but scientists are still struggling to learn about their behavior. One day, the giant squid will be observed in its natural habitat. Until then, the largest invertebrate predator remains one of the most mysterious of the natural world.